Jay-Z went from selling crack on the streets to the first rap billionaire. But getting to the top wasn't easy, and there's a lot of people who try to get a slice. Today, we're breaking down 5 times Hov got sued and how it turned out. Parlux. Back in 2012, Jay made a deal with a company called Parlux Fragrances to make a cologne called Go Jay-Z. Jay has deals with all kinds of businesses, and in an interview with Best Life, he said, "My brands are an extension of me. They're close to me. It's not like running GM, where there's no emotional attachment." But Parlux thought he didn't hold up his end of the deal to promote the cologne like he was supposed to. So in 2016, they hit him with a lawsuit for $68 million in damages. It took a few years for the case to actually go to court, but Jay wanted all the smoke with Parlux's lawyer, Anthony Viola, when the trial started. At first, Viola tried to press Jay over the contract with Parlux, but Jay told him he never even read it. When Viola switched lanes and asked him if he had read the emails about the case before the trial, Jay said he just wanted to refresh my memory because you guys have me on trial for something I didn't do. Viola tried to trip him up and asked, "So you didn't remember then, but you remember now?" But Jay clapped back and told him that's how memory works. Parlux's legal team kept taking shots at him, but Jay proved that he wasn't one to mess with. He called Viola out for playing lawyer tricks and word games and called the whole situation a shakedown. When Parlux announced the lawsuit, Jay brought his own counterclaim for over $2 million in royalties, but when it was all over, the jury decided that neither team had to pay out and they just had to walk away from the deal. The judge told the lawyers, "You failed to prove your case." They failed to prove their case. That's the outcome. Jay didn't get his $2 million, but he also didn't have to pay $68 million, so he was happy at the end of the day. When he walked out of the courtroom, a reporter from Vulture asked him,
"So you have 98 problems now."
Hey, I like that.
Tidal. In 2015, Jay-Z took his mogul status to the next level when he bought Tidal. Instead of giving a cut of his streaming money to someone else, he just took over his own. He could have made a deal with Spotify like a lot of artists, but he told Billboard, "We talked to every single service and we explored all the options. But at the end of the day, we figured if we're gonna shape this thing the way we see it, then we need to have independence." But getting people to switch to a new streaming app can be tough. So Jay started making exclusive deals with massive artists like Kanye and Lil Wayne to bring in new customers. Getting into new business with Wayne should have been huge for Tidal, but it ended up costing Jay $50 million. Back in 2015, when the deal was made, Weezy was having major issues with Birdman and Cash Money Records. His deal with Tidal was supposed to give them exclusive streaming rights, but Birdman and Cash Money said it was illegal since Wayne still had a contract with them. According to court documents, Cash Money accused Tidal of using Wayne in a desperate and illegal attempt to save their struggling streaming service. The legal situation was bad, but Wayne had bigger issues at the time. On the same day the news about the lawsuit broke, sources started linking Birdman and Young Thug to a dude who shot at Wayne's tour bus a few months before. Luckily, nobody got hit during the shooting, but this was a wild time for Weezy. After Birdman told everyone he was suing Tidal and Jay-Z, the situation went quiet for almost a year. Then Rolling Stone broke the news that Birdman and Cash Money never actually filed a suit. A rep from Tidal said no Cash Money lawsuit was ever served and therefore it was dismissed before it ever started. But Birdman isn't the only dude who went after Tidal. In 2016, a rock band called the American Dollar sued Tidal for $5 million and said that their royalty payments weren't right. But Tidal reps said it was all cap. They even put the band on blast and let everyone know that their music had racked up less than 13,000 streams. Owning a streaming service is cool, but apparently it wasn't worth all the trouble for Jay. So in 2021, he sold 80% of the company to Square for an insane $350 million according to TMZ. $350 million is a lot of cash, but this next lawsuit was for over $500 million. Brooklyn Nets. Back in 2003, Jay bought part of the New Jersey Nets for $1 million. After the Nets moved to Brooklyn for the 2012-2013 season, a dude named Dr. Francois de Cassignol filed a complaint and wanted to take the NBA, Jay-Z, and a developer named Bruce Ratner to trial over their new name. Cassignol claimed that he registered the name Brooklyn Nets over a decade before they changed their name, and he was looking to get a wild $600 million in damages. According to him, Jay and the NBA fraudulently conspired to use loopholes in the patent system so they could get away with using the Brooklyn Nets name. Court documents revealed that Cassignol filed an application for the Brooklyn Nets entertainment logo in 2012. He also claims that he talked to the NBA about the name before the team moved, and the NBA told him that they would be called the New York Nets instead of Brooklyn. What's really crazy is that Jay had already sold his shares with the team to Jason Kidd by the time this all went down. He wanted to split off and develop his own sports management company called Roc Nation Sports, and he couldn't legally own any shares in the team, but that didn't stop Cassignol from coming after him. Luckily, the judge on the case realized how crazy the lawsuit was and threw it out a couple years later. 40/40 Club. Being one of the biggest rappers in the game gets you access to any club in the world, but instead of throwing his money around at someone else's spot, Jay took it to the next level and opened up the 40/40 Club in 2003. Owning the club sounds dope, but it's been involved in at least 5 major lawsuits since it opened. In 2007, a company called BMI went after Jay's club for playing songs without permission. BMI basically collects royalties for artists, and according to them, the 40/40 Club is playing their tracks without paying for licensing. They even sent an undercover employee to the club one night in 2006 and found out that the club was playing music from Michael Jackson, R. Kelly, and Kanye, and a bunch of other artists without paying the fees. BMI said they have been trying to work with 40/40 since 2003, but they can never get a deal made. Jay has always tried to put other artists on and help their careers out though, so he probably didn't even know what was going on with all the legal stuff. The club also had a class action lawsuit filed against it for allegedly stealing tips from the staff, and the waitress accused them of not even paying them minimum wage. And that's not the only issue the club had with employees. Jay and 40/40 filed a $1.5 million lawsuit against a chef over a chicken wing spice mix. According to the suit, a chef named Mike Shan quit the club and took the recipe with him. Apparently, he handed over almost every recipe when he left, except for some secret spice mix he used on the chicken wings. Eventually, they dropped the lawsuit, but the 40/40 Club's wings just don't hit like they used to. Jay also went after David Ortiz from the Boston Red Sox for stealing the 40/40 name and opening up his own club in the Dominican Republic. The name 40/40 Club comes from baseball anyway, but Jay said Ortiz knew exactly what he was doing because he had been a patron at the 40/40 Club on several occasions long before he opened his infringing 40/40 Club. The lawsuit got dropped after Ortiz cut Jay a check for the settlement. No one knows how much Ortiz ended up paying, but the settlement probably didn't come cheap. Big Pimpin'. Big Pimpin' was the biggest track off Jay-Z's fourth record, Volume 3, Life and Times of S. Carter, back in 1999. Timbaland produced the track and sampled an Egyptian song called Kasara Kasara that was released in 1957 by a dude named Bilal Hamdi. When Jay dropped Big Pimpin', it was an instant hit. It reached the top 20 on the Billboard Hot 100, and in 2004, Rolling Stone even put it on their list of the 500 greatest songs of all time. But even though it popped off, Jay probably wishes he never even made it. In 2007, Hamdi's nephew, Osama Ahmad Fahmy, sued Timbaland and Jay over the sample. They already paid $100K to the company that controlled the song's rights back in '99, but Fahmy said that Big Pimpin' mutilated his uncle's moral rights. It's a complicated situation, but in some countries, an artist has moral rights to their art, and the rights can only be given to someone else by the artist themselves or their family. America doesn't have moral rights, and the judge basically told Fahmy he wasn't going to get any money out of Jay and Timbaland since they already paid for the sample. Bilal Hamdi passed away in '93, so it wasn't even like he'd get more money off the song he made. It was just his family trying to squeeze Jay and Timbaland over something they had nothing to do with. Fahmy lost the lawsuit, but he still didn't give up. He filed an appeal to get the ruling overturned, but in 2018, the appeals court agreed that Jay and Timbaland didn't owe him anything. Even though he won the lawsuit, Jay told the Wall Street Journal that he regrets a lot of the lyrics on the track. He told him some lyrics become really profound when you see them in writing. Not Big Pimpin'. That's the exception. It was like, I can't believe I said that, and kept saying it. What kind of animal would say this sort of thing? Reading it is really harsh. Jay has gone through a lot of lawsuits over the years, but he's proven over and over again that he'll always come out on top.